Taylor Swift is known for many things. Everyone knows her as a singer, songwriter, performer, and most recently, frequent flyer. But what many people often forget about her is that she's also insanely rich. In this video, we'll be going over Taylor Swift's billion-dollar empire, taking a closer look at how she became one of the few female celebrities that reached the billion-dollar mark through music alone. So stick around until the end to see everything else she's invested in. Before Taylor Swift was rocking it out on sold-out shows, she was just a kid who really loved playing the guitar. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989 in Reading, Pennsylvania, a bona fide country girl from the very start. Growing up on a Christmas tree farm, there wasn't much else to take an interest in other than nature. Taylor Swift began performing for crowds as early as 10 years old. She had a knack for music, and there wasn't any use denying it anymore. Eventually, at the age of 14, her parents would let her move out to Nashville, Tennessee, where country music roars proud. After a year of open mic nights and songwriting workshops hoping for her big break, it eventually came in the form of a music exec from Big Machine Records. At the time, this record deal was a blessing for Taylor Swift, giving her her first big break into the mainstream. Surely they won't hold all her songs hostage, right? But regardless of what their true money-grubbing intentions were, their trust in Taylor Swift was the spark that lit the flames of Taylor's popularity, and that flame has only burned brighter. It doesn't matter where you are or even who you are, you've heard of Taylor Swift, and you've definitely heard her music. To the countless days of Shake It Off on loop at the mall, to the intro of Bad Blood ringing in your ears every time you turn on the radio, it's hard to avoid a pop icon like her. And with all that exposure comes the money. From 2006 to 2010, during Taylor Swift's debut in the country genre, her sales have been nothing short of amazing. The album Fearless itself was on the top charts for weeks with an estimated 7 million copies sold in America alone. Taylor Swift's album sales peaked when she transitioned to the pop genre with albums such as Red, Reputation, Lover, and of course 1989, which sold 10.6 million copies around the globe. This transition into pop was a genius move for Taylor Swift, because if you think about it, her music evolved with the taste of her original fans. The same people who jammed out to the romantics of Love Story were now the perfect audience that enjoys blank space. Taylor Swift has consistently released banger after banger, but no one ever made it to $1 billion without a few nasty obstacles trying to grab a fistful. And we don't mean that in a Kanye way. 2020 was a very divisive year for everyone. With the pandemic on the horizon and the world going into isolation, there was enough on everyone's plate as it is. But Taylor herself was dealing with another monster entirely. Taylor Swift's original label, Big Machine Records, had decided to buy out Taylor Swift's original song recordings and keep it for themselves, basically claiming ownership for her first 6 albums, which were arguably her most famous ones. While the legal battle between Taylor and BMR was long and lasted throughout the pandemic, the verdict would ultimately land in favor of BMR keeping her original recordings. But if her label could find a loophole, then so could she. In a genius move, Taylor Swift re-recorded and re-released her already successful albums, labeling them as Taylor's versions and reselling them as her own. Not only did she metaphorically win her songs back as her own, but she also made a fortune. It's estimated that just the Fearless re-release version alone earns Taylor Swift $750,000 each month. Taylor Swift's success continued well into the pandemic with more experimental albums like Folklore and Evermore, which, while not universally well received, was a nice step back from the colors of the pop era Taylor Swift. Both albums sold a combined total of 4.5 million copies worldwide, and that isn't even counting the streaming era's clicks. And with her latest album entitled Midnights selling 3.3 million copies worldwide, this was a sign that her fans wanted more of her. And oh boy, were they gonna get more. During a Good Morning America showing on November 1st, Taylor Swift would announce her highly anticipated Eras Tour. The Eras Tour was a celebration of Taylor Swift's colorful musical journey and all the fans that went along for the ride. The concert was an international success, with multiple sold-out shows in huge stadiums, and with tickets ranging from $200 to $900, it's no surprise that the tour would eventually earn over $1 billion. The tour was estimated to be earning a huge $10 to $13 million per stop, and with 53 stops in America alone, $1 billion was inevitable. Heck, if you counted the number of people camped outside the concert stadium, then Taylor would be way past that number. But ticket sales weren't the only revenue stream from Eras tour. There was also the merch and licensing. T-shirts and posters from merch booths earned Taylor Swift an estimated $240.8 million. Aside from licensed merch, there was also the official Eras Tour movie that grossed $261 million in America alone, but also saved fans from Eras Tour FOMO. The Eras Tour was not only beneficial for Taylor Swift, but it was also a huge benefit for other countries. In fact, Singapore leveraged this by arranging a deal with the tour organizer. In exchange for a hefty sum of money, Taylor Swift would only perform in Singapore and no other country in Southeast Asia. This was an attempt by Singapore officials to draw Southeast Asian tourists into their country, and it was a relative success. Taylor Swift has shown that she can draw attention no matter what country she's in, and of course, brands took notice. While Taylor Swift isn't as active in the celebrity endorsement scene anymore, these celebrity endorsements were what gave her the foundation to build her fame in the first place. With multi-million-dollar deals from huge brands such as Diet Coke, AT&T, Target, Sony, and CoverGirl, the Diet Coke deal specifically was a success, considering her Red album was also fresh from production. These brands were not only revenue streams for her, but it also served as a way to market herself. But now that we know that Taylor Swift has stacks to her name, it's time to find out what she does with it. Now, we all know the rumors, and we all have to acknowledge them. Yes, Taylor Swift is a frequent flyer. Taking trips to move from one state to the other, it seems like an arrogant move, but with 2 Dassault private jets to her name, who wouldn't? Aside from private jets, she also has an impressive car collection with cars ranging from humble Chevrolet pickups to luxury cars like the Mercedes-Maybach and Cadillac Escalade. Now, I know right now it sounds like Taylor Swift is just slinging cash around, but she's also made quite a bit of smart investments for herself. Let's take, for example, her budding real estate portfolio with millions of dollars invested in New York penthouses and mansions in Rhode Island and LA. She even has a few homes in Nashville, Tennessee. While these investments are impressive, they're only accessories for her real investment strategy. If one thing stays true throughout Taylor's entire career, it's the fact that she loves her fans. They've been with her through thick and thin, through controversies, and through her different eras. Not only are they loyal and loved, but they're also her #1 revenue stream. It's a bit of a cliche for artists to thank their fans and say that they wouldn't be successful if it weren't for them, but it is 100% true. So Taylor Swift makes sure to take care of her fans by engaging in social media, press tours, and by releasing quality content time and time again. And with the investment strategy, Taylor Swift has built her $1 billion empire.